Righto fellas, and welcome back to Dust Customs. So I've been away on holidays, just been itching to get back in the shop, and this weekend I've actually got a show on. It's a local show in Murbar. I can't remember exactly the name of it. I'll try and post a pic here if I can. As you remember, last time, the last show I went to, I was having a few issues with the grey bug on the way home, and I don't know if it's a clogged jet in one of the carbs. It was kind of having this like a bit of a starving kind of miss at kind of higher revs when you were driving. And then by the time I got home, it just kind of, it wasn't running altogether very well. It also has a really bad oil leak, and it's still coming from that rear main, which I've replaced twice, plus I've replaced the O-ring in there. So I'm really not sure why that's an issue. But I got to pull that motor again. I'm sick of pulling motors out of that car. But I think the quickest thing to do for me, rather than try and diagnose that, as you know, I've been building this thing here, which is a 1776 that I got out of the Baja. Up to this date, I left all the original, the bearing. I didn't split the case basically, so everything in there, it seemed to be okay still. There didn't seem to be too much wear or movement in any of that. What I have done is put new pistons and cylinders on there, and I'm going to bang a set of twin carbs on there. One of the things I managed to bring back from America with me is a nice set of twin carbs. I'll pull them up now and we'll just have a bit of a go through what we're planning on doing. All right, so the carbs I scored are these. They're a set of empi 40 hpmx, which I think will go good on this 1776. I've got all the linkages. These came off Carlin's motor. These are the manifolds off Carlin's motor too. I think I've got another set of manifolds, but I believe these ones are the ones I need to clear that tinware, which is the only tinware I've got that suits what I'm building here at this stage. I do prefer the round one, but because of this oil cooler setup, the round one has the built-in oil cooler, doghouse cooler thing, so I can't use it. So I kind of am stuck with that, and that, I believe. I do have another set of these. I might just give them a try. They're kind of a little bit neater looking. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and get them bolted on just so I can get this thing running and thrown in the car. I mean, this one's already got its flywheel. It's already got its clutch. Everything's still attached to it. I've done the exhaust. All I got to do is adjust the valves, get it up, get some fuel to it, and we should have a runner. Anyway, this is us. Let's get into it. So now I'm just looking at my other set of manifolds, and these are an offset one, which I was already having issues hitting the firewall on the last one. So I'm thinking I'm going to run with these, and hopefully I can make them work on that tinware. If not, I'll modify the other tinware to work. It's just how it's going to have to roll. Right, well that seems to clear. So I can see these things are going to be a real pain to try and tune. Like obviously, all the controls are there, and now I see why people cut doors into the side of the wheel well to be able to tune these things. Anyway, righto, well I'm going to bolt this thing all together like that. I've got the linkages and stuff, the hats off the other carbs that I've got. I'll bolt that all together. The only one of the missing pieces to the puzzle is this oil filter. I've got to try and see if I've got something that'll fit that's going to clear that, and it's a bit of a worry. Fuel pump, I need to disconnect the fuel pump. Yes, that's another bit of an issue that I've got to sort out. And other than that, let's just try and get some stuff bolted together. So of course, whatever these brand of manifolds are, they didn't have enough room for the nuts I normally use with the flange on them. They also don't have enough room for a washer. So what I'm trying to do now is go through this. I think what I'm going to be looking for is some, spring washers. I think that's all I'm going to be able to find that actually works on it. There's probably a couple of bolts there. I've just got to find one Well, 2 is what I need right this second, but I do need 4, so I'm sure everyone that's playing with cars knows exactly this feeling when you've got this box of bolts, and it's just an ever-growing box of bolts. But God, it comes in handy just every single day. Anyway, oh, there's the last one. She just dove. It dove in. Fellas, she dove down. Of course it did. Where is it? There. Gotcha. All right, back to it. Sure, there's a few of you that would rather see that than that, but I'm just telling you fellas, like, to get 140 horsepower out of that, it's like you're costing me a lot of money. You know, this thing, it's a 1776 twin carbs. Look, it may, like, you know, I might be dreaming to think it's going to get 100 horsepower. You know, it's got a cam in it, I think. It's got a balanced crank, you know, it's got a bit of stuff, but that engine there for $500, you know, like, you can get 140 horsepower and it's just kind of throwaway. Whereas this thing, I'm more than that just in the carbies, you know, and it's but, you know, I want to put this in something else. That's getting that. I can flog it, redline it, bounce it off the rev limiter and not worry about it. Whereas these are a little bit, you know, not quite like that. Anyway, this is where I'm at. Carbies are on. It feels like I've got full throttle movement. I've tried it with them on and with them off. Somehow this set of linkages, I've got a different linkage on both sides. Not exactly sure what happened there. Anyway, that's what I've got for now. They seem to be working. Now, I may have done something silly. I think I've put these on backwards. I think the spring's meant to be at the front. I can't see any other distinguishing features that mean front or back. This is just you know, opposite. I'm not exactly sure what that screw is. Maybe someone can tell me what that screw is. There, obviously, your air fuel on your idle, and I'll move that screw there to the front, which is your idle control. Other than that, I think, you know, the only reason I put them on like this is I wanted the fuel line to loop around the back here and not be in the front. So anyway, that's what I've done. So the next thing I got to get to this thing is I've got the distributor in there. I need to get spark to it, so I need a set of leads, and I need an oil filter. So I'm going to try and I'll go down to the parts store tomorrow, and I'm going to see if I can get a short, stumpy oil filter that just sits in here with these headers. I do not want to have to remove the exhaust every time I change the oil. So, you know, that would be a benefit of getting some. I'm sure I can. I've just got to, you know, go and ask the fellas at the shop. Other than that, adjust the valves. I might even give that a quick run now. I got to do the valve adjustment, and yeah, let's adjust these valves. Yeah, that's the fella there, 0.006, so 6th thou. Anyway, I'll get to adjusting these things, and yeah, I mean, tomorrow we might even get a fire out of this thing.